It's time once again for a powerful mix of fitness, focus, and philosophy. Philosophy? That's right. Kick back and get ready for your host. Wisdom keeps her fit mentally, squats keep her fit and fine physically. Yes, I said fine. Tune in and prepare to challenge your body and your mind with Professor Kristen Hester. You'll think better, you'll live smartly, and all thanks to Kristen teaching us right now how to squat wisely. And now here's Professor Kristen Hester.
Welcome to today's episode of Squat Wisely. Today's episode will be considered controversial to some. It may actually resonate with others. And for some listeners, it will be quite informative. The focus will be the law of attraction. Now, if you've never heard of the law of attraction, you might be familiar with a book that is titled The Secret. The Secret. Way back in the day when Oprah still had her talk show, she had an episode where the author of that book was on the show. And boy, did it cause quite a stir. This is a subject that people feel is a little bit out there, a little bit unbelievable, and some people feel like it is a part of life, whether we embrace it or not. We are always manifesting and attracting things into our reality. So today, you be the judge. You listen to the guests that I have on today, and I hope that it will be informative for you, and you can formulate your own opinion and your own perspective on this very interesting topic. So stay tuned and be sure to come right back after this message.
Get a world-class motivational speaker to your next event. Kristen Hester offers professional speaking services in Atlanta, Georgia, and beyond. To hire Kristen, visit www.kristenspeaks.com. Kristen.
Guys, thank you for checking out the Squat Wisely podcast on today. If you have been curious about the law of attraction, well, you are in for a treat. The guest for today, I discovered her through a video on the law of attraction. She goes by the name of Andrea Schulman, and I want to welcome her to the show right now. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. Tell us a little bit about who you are and tell us about your relationship with the law of attraction.
Okay, well, I am I call myself a law of attraction educator, but also like a coach. So I do work with people one-on-one, and I also run a membership website where people can watch videos and information on the law of attraction to help them create more desirable outcomes in their lives. But I didn't always do this. Before the law of attraction, I came from a history of being a psychology teacher, a high school psychology teacher. And my experience with the law of attraction kind of bridged me from that career into this one. And I don't know, probably about 7 years ago now, I was introduced to the law of attraction through The Secret, which is a lot of people have heard that. But for me, it was very serendipitous. I had been a teacher for about 7 years, and I liked my job. I had what I believed at the time was a good life, and I guess perception is everything. It wasn't a bad life by probably lots of people's perception. But at the time, I did have a lot of struggles. I was an addict, an undercover opiate addict that nobody knew about that. I had an eating disorder. I had all kinds of mental health kind of struggles that I was dealing with. But that, I don't think, is what drew me to the law of attraction. What had drawn me to the law of attraction was we were coming up to winter break in the education system that year. And for some reason in my mind, I got it in my head that I was going to figure out what my big career was going to be. Because I'd been teaching for 7 years. I liked it. But I felt like there was something bigger that I was supposed to be doing. And for some reason, I thought that I would be able to figure that out over a 2-week winter break. So we went on winter break. And I didn't really do anything at all to figure out this career the first week because we're doing Christmas stuff and wrapping presents and making cookies and all that stuff. But after all the festivities died down, I remembered that I was supposed to figure out my dream career that I suddenly thought that I could figure out. I sat down at my kitchen table with some pen and a paper and try to brainstorm, and nothing came to me. So I decided that instead I would go sit down and just watch Netflix and check out for a little bit. So I turned on the TV and turned on Netflix, and really I went right to the documentary section because I always like watching documentaries. And the first one that popped up was this documentary called The Secret, which is all about the law of attraction. And the teaser on it was just uncanny because it was talking about getting the things that you wanted in life. I'm like, well, that was what I wanted, was to figure out my dream career. So this must be the right video for me. And I watched it, and the light bulb just really went off for me with that particular video. I know some people don't really like that particular video, but for me, it really spoke to me. And I did not figure out my dream career right then, but I started applying the principles of the law of attraction. And over time, just saw all these changes in my life. And then one day while I was teaching, still at my job, in the middle of teaching a lecture, it just struck me that what I wanted to be doing was teaching people about the law of attraction, which was really kind of funny because the whole reason I sat down to watch that video was to figure out what my career move was going to be, but it came to me in that roundabout way. So in a nutshell, that's how I was introduced to it. And since then, I've started running a website, and I work with people all the time on this and create lots of content around it. And that's where you found me today.
Indeed. You mentioned The Secret earlier, and that is how a lot of people found out about the law of attraction. And based on their perception of it, a lot of people think it's a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of controversy associated with the law of attraction. Yeah. For those who feel kind of iffy about it, first explain in simple terms, what is the law of attraction and what is your take on the controversy that it receives?
Sure. Okay. So the law of attraction is basically, it's the way that we explain how reality is created. It's a law that creates reality or aligns you with reality. Sometimes the word attraction can be a misnomer. But the idea is that the reality that you are observing and participating in is a match to whatever it is that you're putting out. So, the easiest way to kind of explain it is if you know people who are happy and they take it easy, life always seems to go very well for them. They don't seem to struggle. They don't seem to have problems because they're putting out an output of ease and happy and flow. People, by contrast, who tend to be more frustrated, irritated, annoyed, tend to encounter more problems and more struggles because their reality is matching that output that they're putting out. Now, most people think that what's happening is that they're responding to their reality. So there's a problem, and that's why I'm upset. Or, things went well, and that's why I'm happy. But it's actually the reverse. You were happy, so good things happened. Or you were stressed, so problems occurred. Now, I agree there is a lot of controversy with The Secret and with the idea of the law of attraction. There's a number of reasons I think that people dislike it. I think some people feel that it violates spiritual doctrine. I think that's one big thing. I also think that, at least with The Secret, I think for me, I really tapped into the idea through that video or through the book that it's really your feelings that are important. But I think sometimes what people hear out of that more is that it's the things that are important. So that sometimes there's an association made that people just use The Secret or the law of attraction in order to accumulate wealth or to accumulate material things, and that they're not doing them for positive purposes, or that it's leading them to lead a sinful life. And I can understand why that kind of comes across that way, because there are lots of people that is kind of the main objective. Oh, there's a law of attraction. Well, I want to make millions. Or there's a law of attraction. I want a Lamborghini. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. All right. But I can see how the perception is that that's a little bit gluttonous. And, I can understand why people might see that. The thing about it is, though, is that at the root of this is really the state that you're putting out. So it isn't so much about the thing that you want, but it's rather about where you're resonating at. And by resonate, I mean your energy, your energetic state. And your energetic state kind of works on a continuum. So you have high energetic states that are like love, joy, compassion. Those are the states that put you in alignment with very positive manifestations. By contrast, we have very low energetic states that are characterized by feelings like being frustrated, angry, sad, depressed. Those lower vibrational states tend to correlate us with more negative outcomes. So the roundabout reason that I mentioned that is that let's say that somebody wanted to manifest a Lamborghini. Now, if a Lamborghini is something that makes you happy, you have to be at the higher end of the vibrational spectrum in order to manifest that, meaning you have to be in a state of love and joy. When you are in that state, you are at the state of love, the state of joy, you are actually a benefit to everybody because you are operating from a place of love with everybody you meet as much as you can. And so I think that's something that can help reconcile some of the frustration people have about the evils of the law of attraction, that if someone's going to actually use the law of attraction to get something tangible, they actually have to be in a state of love, which, by the way, is something that spiritual doctrine often promotes. So I think that's the big thing that I've noticed is that one of the reasons people don't like the law of attraction is they think it focuses more on things, but really at the root of it, it's about your emotional state and where you're at. And to really use it effectively, you have to get yourself into a state of being a very loving, kind person. So even if that person's getting stuff, trust me, they're still out there doing wonderful things for the world.
Definitely. The video I saw with you was so awesome. It was dealing with a rubber duck and a drum. Tell us a little bit about that before I go into my experience with it.
Yeah, so I created a video to introduce people to the law of attraction. And it was just a brief visualization exercise. And so in the exercise, a person could pick one of two objects. One was a duck, a rubber duck, and one was a drum. And in that visualization, I kind of put the person into a meditative state and have them do a series of visualizations and then just go about your business and see if it shows up. And overwhelmingly, people find that they do find that either their rubber duck or their drum does show up within a day or two.
Right. So that's what happened to me. I forgot all about the video, honestly. And then I was watching a movie and it was a scene where it went to a band. And my image was the drum. That's what I had visualized. Yeah. So when this drum pops up in my reality, I started laughing. And I said, you know what? I'm going to have her on the show. Because I want to ask you, was that a coincidence or not?
Well, I mean, I don't really believe that there are any coincidences, or at least not in the way that people intend for that word to mean. I guess you could say that all of life is a coincidence. But what's really going on is that at all times you are matching up with things based on your frequency. So every little thing, and yes, that drum was something that you manifested with the law of attraction. But if you look around your reality, every last little thing, every last little detail you have manifested into your reality with the law of attraction. We don't call most of the things rolling through our lives coincidences, because we kind of expect them to happen. But that's why that activity is fun, because it takes an object you probably don't see often and throws it into your reality, which is why it's exciting. Now, what's really cool about your story is that you said you forgot about it. And that's another reason why I constructed that particular experiment that way, because a lot of times people don't realize that the manifestation happens again when you're in that higher vibrational state. So you create a video that's fun, it's interesting, somebody has some fun with it, and then they just forget about it. They're not worried about it. They're not like, when's the drum going to show up? When's the duck going to get here? No one really cares if the drum or the duck shows up. So it's an activity you can just have fun with, and it will show up in a way that makes you laugh. That's funny because you went into it in a positive way, just having fun with it, without any real expectation. And that's another trick about the law of attraction people don't really understand, is that letting go and being kind of nonchalant about it is important. And so is having fun with the process.
I agree. For a lot of the people who may have checked out that video, it was kind of maybe our way of putting it to the test to try to confirm the legitimacy of it all. Right. For you, do you have your own story that's kind of similar to the drum duck experiment that confirmed the legitimacy of the law of attraction for you in your world?
Yeah, and it's funny because now I look at it and I'm like, this is so stupid. Like, it should not have given me such a thrill. Okay. But one of the things, like before I learned about the law of attraction, one of the things I always said and had always been my experience was that I don't win anything. I don't care if it's a raffle, if it's a giveaway, if it's a trip, it just doesn't happen for me. And at the time, this was like, if you're still on Facebook, you don't really see this too much anymore. But back then, people used to do lots of raffles and giveaways on Facebook to promote their pages. I was like, I'm just going to start entering some of these and, have fun with it. And this was probably